Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Molly if you're new. I'm going to be filming a travel advice video today. I'm very excited for this one. I've been waiting a long ass time and we're going to deep dive into solo traveling. Make sure you like and subscribe if you haven't already. Oh my god, I just fully had to make a smoothie because I'm having word diarrhea and I got halfway through and nothing that I was saying was making any sense. So let's take two, baby. Also, I just want to say I'm only talking about my experiences. So do as you wish with the information, but that's the tea that I'll be spilling today, okay? Talk about traveling on your own. I personally really wanted to do it because I thought that it would like really push myself and give me the confidence boost that I needed. And I have a lot of self-doubt, so that was like what I wanted to do. Obviously I was a bit nervous, like I wanted to travel with a friend or a family member or a partner if I had one, but I was like, why am I waiting around? I've just spent 2 years in lockdown and why would I not want to travel by myself and just do what I want to do? The one thing I was a little bit scared about was walking home by myself at night, but I didn't do that once. I was always with someone, and even when I did spend time by myself in Amsterdam like a bit later on, I didn't really go out because I didn't want to put myself in a situation where it could have ended badly. Two, if you're wanting to travel by yourself but you've already got something say booked, you could always do like 1 or 2 days by yourself or jump off early at this spot here and then meet up with people later. This is the bit where I had word diarrhea. We're going to talk about the money situation. Now for me, I spent $3,000 on my flights, and then I spent $7,000 all up on the Contiki, which we'll go into a bit later, and then I had $8,000 of spending money. I spent all my spending money because I was just like tap and go. I had so many cocktails, I had the best food, I had the best time, and I did everything that I wanted to do. And I didn't really stress about budgeting. I've seen a lot of like TikTok videos, YouTube videos where people are like, how to budget on a trip and save your money. And I'm like, me personally, I didn't care. I did not care one bit. I didn't think about coming home in my head, to be honest, once. I was like, that's a future me issue. I'll be fine. Want that cute little Barcelona merch, just get it. In my head, I was like, it's fine. I'll just go back and work. The money is going to be replaceable. So I didn't want to stress about it. And I think that was like the best way to approach my trip. Oh my god, I did just remember though, my last week when I was in London by myself, I ran out of money on like my savings account that I had for spending. So I was like then now using my credit card because I didn't really want to use that much at the start. I was like, I'll use what money I actually have, and then if worse comes to worse, I'll use my credit card for like bigger expenses. Say if I booked a hostel or I needed to do a train ticket, that's kind of what I would spend it on. Last week I was at one of the cafes and I went to go pay and the credit card declined, and then so I had to ring mum. I don't know what time it was here. It was like she'd already been in bed and I was like, can you transfer me because I can't pay for my breakfast? So that was funny, but you know what, like things like that will just happen and you'll always find a way out of it. I'm going to continue kind of on like the money saving sort of side of things. Leading up to my trip, something that I wanted to mention too, I didn't really go out heaps. I definitely didn't buy as much iced lattes. They're a killer. I just want to say it, like they are. Whenever I went to work, I would buy an iced latte, and I do now because I'm back at home and it doesn't really matter. But those were like the little things that I tried not to buy. I really tried not to go out and drink as much, so I would drive to events, which I was so fine with. Like, I'm a fun person, so it wasn't really an issue for me driving and then driving home. And I saved a lot of money, not spending on Ubers, not spending on drinks. That's kind of like how I tried to save as much as I could beforehand. Next up, we're going to talk about work and how to like save for a big Europe trip, because I know a lot of people are going away in 2023 and probably the following years, and it is quite daunting. Like, saying I'm going to go overseas and then being like, oh shit, I actually have to save a lot of money and work my ass off for the trip. Lucky enough for me, I live at home, so that was definitely something that I had to my advantage and something I was very grateful for. So I was able to save a lot more. But a lot of people that I met actually on my Contiki were out of home. Okay, so for my work, I work 8:30 till 5. Working 9 till 5. What a way to make a living. Monday to Friday. It was great, but I also needed extra money because I didn't book my trip until 2 months prior. And do you think I saved over summer? No, not at all. I knew that I wouldn't have had enough money if I didn't find an extra income. I asked my current job for overtime, but they sadly couldn't provide it to me at the time. So I was like, that's fine, but like, oh shit, I'm gonna have to find something else. So I went on Seek and I found this job that I just fell in love with, and I was like, I'm gonna ring the company because I can't wait around to see if they're gonna reply to my Seek application. Like, I'm just gonna ring them. Jesus really had my back there on that one because I was like, this is the point where I was like, crunch time. It was getting closer and closer, and I was like, okay, I paid for my flights and I paid for the Contiki, but like, what about the spending money? I worked there for 2 months leading up, and I worked like Monday to Sunday, extreme hours, but it was definitely so worth it. Like, every time I was sweeping up little food on the floor or cleaning or doing whatever it was, I was like, you know what? This is going to be so worth it because in 2 weeks' time, I'm going to be in Italy sipping on a rosé. I think the best way to tackle it is, if you're going overseas, definitely look in your local area to see if they've got work first up, or ask your current job if they can give you overtime, or go on Seek and apply for a bunch of jobs. For example, my friend Deb went overseas a month before me and she did like hospitality night work, and then she also did like online surveys. I know, what's that thing where you go and you rate the foods? Oh my god, this is gonna kill me that I can't think of it. That place where you go into like the retail shops or the cafes and you are like a detective, almost. Not a detective, but you're like undercover and you rate their like how their staff is and how their food is. Oh my god, what is this called? It's killing me. I'll put it up on the screen because I'll remember at one point. But I think if you're planning the trip, you're definitely gonna find a way to make it work. That's what I was always like, I was like, you know what, it's going to work out. Like, it's going to have to because I'm going either way. Okay, next up, we're going to talk about how much I packed / what I packed. I have a whole video on like the prep and packing, so I'm just going to kind of like summarize this. Suitcase is like the hard style shell suitcases. This one is the one that I took. She was incredible because my thing was, if I'm lugging around this heavy ass suitcase, I'm going to bash it into things by accident. I'm going to fall over. I'm going to get it a little bit dirty and destroyed. And I didn't want my items inside to be broken. That's what kind of won me over. It had locks on it, so if you're kind of a bit stressed about going out or leaving your stuff in a room, you can always lock your bag. Next thing I want to discuss is the weather. I don't know what time of year you're planning on going, but I went August 25th till October 6th. So obviously they were kind of heading into their colder season towards the end. I didn't pack a pair of jeans. If you've watched my videos, I had a dilemma on jeans and I was like, you know what? I'll just pack a long skirt, like that should be fine. No, pack a pair of jeans. Don't be silly like me. Also pack a raincoat. Something that you can easily fold up and then shove into your bag. You never know what the weather's going to be like. My family friends went around the same time as me and they did Sorrento and Capri as well. But they went like a week after me and it was bucketing down with rain. And they didn't have ponchos or like a rain jacket or anything because they were like, we're in Italy, it's going to be nice weather, but you just never know. Okay, next up we're going to talk about apps. An app that I think is really good to get is like the app of the company you're flying with. I flew with Singapore Airlines and thank God for my auntie. Like, she is an incredible lady. She was like, download Singapore Airlines so you can check in and you don't have to worry about it when you get there. You can see what food you want to pick out. You can also change your seating. Download the app that you're flying with. It's going to make it a lot easier, and it also shows you like what gate, all that sort of things. You're not having to stress about it. Would recommend that 100%. This City Mapper, another great suggestion from my auntie. This is incredible, this app. I was so stressed about directions and like getting from A to B by myself. That was the one thing that was like stopping me from going overseas, because I was like, I am gonna get lost. I panic when I go like by myself into the city in Melbourne. I would have called mum like 5 times and then gone home and like cried about it. What it does, it finds the best options for public transport, Uber, walking, bike riding, whatever it may be, and it finds you the best option to get there. It also gives you like prices on the taxis and Ubers. It is really good for the public transport because it shows you what platform to get on, how long it would obviously take for you to get from A to B. I just think it honestly saved my life, like that app. I would highly recommend it. It's on my phone now. I still use it, and I think it's definitely worth downloading. Okay, next up, we're gonna deep dive into my Contiki trip. I thoroughly enjoyed it. I couldn't recommend it enough. I did the London quest, and this is exactly where I went. My group that I was with were incredible. Everyone was really friendly, approachable, and I just had the best time. Here are some of the add-ons you had to pay for on Contiki. In my opinion, they're 100% worth it. There's a lot of bike rides, tours, eating and drinking, events. You might as well just go hard to go home. I would highly recommend doing all the add-ons. The thing is with Contiki is you can stay on for the whole time, or you can jump off at certain points, or you can join at certain points. So it was kind of like Love Island, to be honest. New people would come on, some intruders might, you know what I mean? Like it was very much giving me reality TV show, but like just my life, and I was thoroughly enjoying every moment of it. Everyone that was like on the Contiki were roughly from 20 to 30. My group that were in their 30s, and they were 2 or 1. It was a blast. So I think age does not matter. Like that was something I was also a bit like, oh, am I too old to go on a Contiki? No, absolutely not. I was the one that was out every night. Like some people that were younger than me didn't go out every night, you know, like I think it just depends on what you want to do, and the trip is designed so you can pick and choose what you want to do. What I also loved about Contiki was I didn't have to think about what to do. When I woke up brutally hungover most days, I was like, as long as I'm dressed, got my suitcase, and on that bus, it's fine. Like the day's planned out for me. When we were on Contiki, we'd spend 1 night or 2 nights in each place, and then you'd move on to the next, which was kind of perfect for me because I'm the type of person that's like, all right, I've seen it, definitely well suited to how I travel. However, next time if I did it, I probably wouldn't do it for 25 days because I went hard for 25 days, let me tell you that. And I just think maybe a 2-week Contiki would have been better suited for next time. But I think I was definitely the right age to do the 25 days and really go hard. Our Contiki trip, our tour guide was Simon. He was lovely, lovely man. He was always really, really helpful. And the good thing about having a Contiki guide too is they've been to these places. So they're not going to waste your time and send you to like a shitty museum or a shitty sightseeing spot. Like they know where the hot spots are. That's what their job is. And the really good thing too I found was when we jump off at night to grab dinner, or say if that wasn't included on our package for that day, he would suggest restaurants to go to or places to see. So he'd have like a Facebook page where they would drop in the file and be like, oh, we're in Salzburg today. This is a really good cafe to go check out. These are some really good places that you can pay to go see. One's like $8, whatever it may be. They had all the suggestions for you. Another good thing too about Contiki is we went out pretty like every night. There was maybe 2 nights I didn't go out, and that was it. But when we did, our tour guide Simon had usually been to these places before and could give us like a cheaper access. So that was also a bonus. I felt like a celebrity. You wouldn't get that if you were traveling by yourself. There was a lot of people that were traveling by themselves, pretty much the whole bus. There was like maybe 2 friends on there that knew each other. There was cousins and there was siblings, and that was about it. So if you're worried about it, just do it, because I guarantee you most of the people are going to be in the same boat. The thing that I really liked about the Contiki was when we started, they did like a speed round dating thing where you could meet people on the bus, because there was a lot of time where we were traveling from A to B and it kind of killed time on the bus, and then you also got to make friends, which was a bonus. Okay, something that I would also recommend is making sure you have some spare change with you, because often we would arrive at these hostels and they would have the opportunity for you to wash your clothes, and sometimes I didn't have money lying around and just I couldn't pay for it, so I'd have to go and like buy something and take money out, or they didn't have an option for me to use my card. Having some spare money to use like the laundry opportunities at the hostels or a laundry mat is definitely something that I think is a key factor. Okay, something else I want to talk about is if you're thinking of doing Contiki, you may have quite a bit of time on the bus. You can take that either way. There was days where I honestly was like, get me off this bus, and then there was other days where I was like, you know what, it's fine, let's go. The thing is too, you obviously do a lot of stop-offs. We stopped in towns where I wouldn't have seen otherwise. So I think you've kind of just got to be in the right mindset for it and just kind of accept it as it is, because you could either be on a train, you could be on a Contiki bus, or you could be flying. So it's up to you. And there actually was some people on my Contiki trip in Barcelona that didn't jump on the bus and just flew. So if you want to do that, you can. There's always other options, but that's something to also take note of. Something I would also recommend is learning a bit of the language. I wish I did more of this because I felt a little bit rude going to the certain countries and not knowing like some basics. Obviously I learned how to say like hi, bye, thank you, but I just felt really rude, and I kind of wish that I'd taken the time to do that. I also didn't know that I was going to be going overseas that year, so I think next time I'd definitely try to learn a bit of the language just so I kind of have it under my belt. We're going to do a speed round of things that I would highly recommend you travel with, whether you're doing a Contiki, whether you're just traveling by yourself, whether you're traveling with friends, family. If you're traveling overseas, you need these things. Okay, a must-have is an AirTag. They're $40. They're the cheapest product from Apple. It was the relief that I needed. I was less stressed. I knew where my suitcase was, and it would also notify me like when I left my hostel, like your bag is here, blah blah blah. Something else I would highly recommend if you're traveling overseas is a water bottle. Wherever you go, you're going to have to pay for water. Whether you're at a restaurant, you'll have to pay for a bottle of water, a glass of water. It adds up, and it's money that you probably don't need to spend. I probably wouldn't be taking a Frank Green because they're freaking heavy. I just bought like an outdoors water bottle and it was perfectly fine. We have a portable charger. That's a must. I think that's pretty obvious. Is a travel mirror, because I got the fanciest one. All the girlies were like, oh my god, can I borrow your mirror? And I was like, of course. And it's just a bit of a flex to have a cool little like makeup mirror. And it was really good to do my makeup because it had like the different coloured lighting. Oh, something I forgot to talk about, which I need to bring up now, is if you're doing a Contiki, you will have no time to do your makeup. You will not be able to stick on fake eyelashes like I thought. You will not be able to apply tan like I thought. So keep that in mind. If you're going to be doing a Contiki, you're going to have no time. Next up is a speaker. I wish that I bought like a Yui Boom speaker. It's just the best because when we were going like to the beach or something, we would have a speaker and a bit of music to like get the mood pumping, to have for pre's as well. So would highly recommend taking a little speaker, some earplugs or an eye mask. I mean, I think that's pretty obvious. I've got a really good Amazon eye mask that is pitch, like it makes it pitch black. And then I've got some little good earplugs that are from the Australian brand Loop. A travel makeup bag. I got mine from Kmart. It was incredible. I took out the little like dividers just because it added a bit of weight, but just having everything in that bag and then my brushes not getting completely destroyed was a lifesaver. Next up, we have headphones. That could be AirPods, that could be Beats, or noise cancelling headphones. I wish I got a pair of those, especially for when I was on the plane. I found like my AirPods were great. But yeah, I think the noise cancelling like big Apple Beats headphones are really good for traveling, and I wish I got a medicine. I'm very prone to getting tonsillitis and laryngitis, so some sort of like cough medicine, antibiotics. If you know you're going to be out partying every night like me, hats off to you. But I would recommend taking some Panadol, Nurofen. Oh, vitamin B tablets. That was a lifesaver. I gave that to all the girlies as well. just having some sort of like vitamin that helped. The vitamin B tablets actually helped more than like a Hydrolyte or Gatorade. So definitely get yourself some of them. A travel washlet. Oh my god, a washlet. Next up is a travel, oh my god, I can't speak today. Why is my brain not working? Travel wash. This is really good to have if you need to like quickly wash your undies or your bra, whatever it may be. Or you don't have an option to wash your clothes. A disposable camera. I wish I took one of these. Having the film camera, having those iconic holiday pics in film would just be so good. But you can always get an app. I actually have this app. It's called Cam, which does that effect anyway. If you want to go old school and get a disposable camera, I think it's definitely worth it. Final one is an iPhone pouch. This was incredible. I wish I used it more. I was just a bit of a baby, to be honest, and I didn't want my phone to get wrecked, even though it wasn't going to. This would be great for any underwater pics at the Amalfi Coast, or if you're doing south of France in the winter time, the snow opportunity pics you could get. I think this was a really good purchase, and I want to use it more. I need to stop being a baby and like use it, because it was a really good travel product that I would highly recommend. Okay, that is it for today's video. Thank you so much for watching. Can't think of anything else to talk about, but if I do, I'm sure I'll bring it up in future vlogs. If you're new to my channel, don't forget to like and subscribe, and thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you soon. Bye.